Conflict isn't chaos. In fact, it's the fuel for growth. And here's how you embrace it without burning bridges.
And the truth, here's the truth. For us as leaders, the greatest failure of leadership is a lack of courage. A lack of courage to say what needs to be said.
Most teams avoid conflict because it feels uncomfortable. But the truth is, a healthy dose of conflict drives better decisions. Start off by setting the ground rules. Different opinions are welcome, but personal attacks are not. Then use what I call real-time permission. When things get heated in a meeting, you step in and say, "This is good. Let's dig into this." By giving your team permission to respectfully disagree, you turn debates into breakthroughs. When you're ready to transform conflict into collaboration, DM me the words "conflict isn't chaos." I'll shoot you a link to my favourite TED Talk on the subject.
This could be the most important thing I say. Nothing can change until the unspoken is said.
Nothing can change until the unspoken is said. Write that up on your whiteboard. If you're anything like I used to be years ago, you used to wander into a construction office. Someone, usually a QA person or a safety person, would have a sign up. A lack of planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. And I just used to think that's just lazy. Complete lack of urgency. They're just trying to stop the job, trying to slow things down. You might think ASAP, it's just part of construction. If that's true, then you already lost control of your sequencing. You might even believe urgency, someone running around like this, is momentum. It's not. Urgency without constraint logic, sequence, it's expensive noise. Judge me by my signals, the data, not the noise. I ran around making 14 phones going, 8 radios. Fuck, he's busy. He must be good. He's not. What he's doing is driving non-value added activity. Extremely. ASAP is poison. It drives non-value added activity. Anyway, happy to be called out. I put a poll up on it today. Tell me I'm wrong if you think I'm wrong. As I used to say to my boys on site, there was a time I thought I was wrong once, but it turned out I was wrong. That is a joke, by the way. They used to love that one. So there's that poll there, okay? ASAP, this is urgent, is poison, and it's caused by sequencing failure. Either agree, disagree, or you think this is just construction. If you think that's just construction, then it's time that we do something about it. Years ago, I worked for Monos on a little job in South Australia. They were exceptional at this. They weren't reactive at all. If you went to the morning meeting and you said, I'm doing this, this and this for the day, there was heaps of improvement to do to what they used to do, but they used to do this piece really well. Want a crane day, Benny? No. Come 10 o'clock and I go, fuck, I need a crane. There's no way in hell you'll get one. They're going to make you feel the pain. That's your problem. You didn't plan far enough in advance to let everyone know in the morning what was happening today so it could create flow. You're not going to change your plans during the middle of the day. Now, I'm not going to say I don't live in La La or Fairyland and think nothing ever changes and nothing ever goes wrong. But people, this has become a really bad habit in the construction industry. Many times you see an email stamped with a red flag, urgent. Nearly all emails are stamped urgent. How fucking everything be urgent? Many times you hear someone say, this is priority. How? How did you work out where the priorities? This is, I need this, ASAP. All right, so we're going to change it. We change it very simply, because we know if we don't do it, make it simple, it will never stick. So we change it by saying, instead of ASAP, it's ASAS. You'll get it as soon as sequenced. That way we're forcing people to sequence what they need, to start to look ahead, to start to plan ahead, to stop moving things around. Opportunities, they call them. It's not opportunities, it's lack of planning is what it is. Someone comes to you and says, this is priority. Okay, no worries. Slow them down. All right, when's it sequenced? Let's go over. This is why the TAC plan is so powerful, okay? Because we can have one wall like this with a TAC plan on it. You can't do this with a Gantt chart because you've got 80, 100, 200 pages, whatever. Gantt charts have got their place. It's not for the people building the actual work that just need to see, when do I need to start? When do I need to finish? And what section do I need to be on? And what do I need to start and finish next? And after that, who's behind me? Who am I affecting? When I go, this is urgent or this is priority, what's the knock-on effect? If I'm at the end of the line here and I'm piping and I'm going, I need to get into this area here right at the minute, but logistics still haven't even got my gear there ready to go yet, and the other guys haven't had their chance, or the other crews, the other teams haven't had their chance to do their work first, it's not priority. Might be your priority. Priority, ASAP and urgent, drives local optimization. You've heard me talk about this before in theory of constraints. Beanie's only worried about what's happening to Beanie. Not worried about the big picture, which is global optimization and flow. What does the project need? Is this urgent at the moment because logistics haven't got there what they should have had there? Maybe it is priority. But you need to slow them down. Just because it's their priority doesn't mean it's yours, and it doesn't mean it's the project's. You need to get rid of these words. These words need to be gone. Priority, urgent, ASAP. Get rid of them. It's the boy who's cried wolf. We've used them so many times now that no one pays any attention to it. You ask someone, did you get someone onto that? Oh yeah, I told them it was urgent. So do 50 other people. Tell them 50 other things are urgent. This is why we have our TAC plan, and everyone can see at the start of the shift, this is the objective. This is the mission for the shift that we must complete. If your work affects that, it is priority. If it's not, it's secondary. This drives this. People run around like a headless chook. When that happens, people get confused, priorities shift, things change continuously, people get hurt. We create more of this, even more of it, 9% of our non-value added activity. Big driver behind that, I always talk to the 8th waste, eliminating the 8th waste, which is wasted people potential. We're wasting our people's potential because they're in a constant state of running around trying to fix the latest priority, ASAP, urgent thing. ASAS, as soon as sequenced. When is it sequenced? Someone comes to you with something, priority, this is urgent, this is priority, this is ASAP. Okay, no worries. Let's go to what Japanese call the obey room, or the war room. Always have a war room or a obey room. There'll be a TAC plan there. There'll be the notes from the morning meeting and ORCA. We'll know what our top 3 things are for today. 1, 2, 3. That's a must. 1's a must. 2 and 3 are secondary. What's the thing that must happen today that everyone else needs to flow around, fit around? Go and have a look at it. Is it number 1? No, it's not. It's number 8. Guess what? I'll be a priority to you, but it's not to anyone else. Not yet. Your turn will come. Piping. We'll get your pipe down to you once we make sure civil, structure and mechanical have got what they need, because they're all in front of you. Right. Question. When ASAP hits your radio in the morning, it's normally the first time that starts, you hear the radios, you hear after pre-start. Pre-start's at 7 o'clock, 7:15, 20 past, radio's going flat out. You can tell a site is poorly organised or has poor flow by the amount of noise on the radio as soon as pre-start's finished. When ASAP hits your radio, is it usually really A, a real constraint, B, a sequencing failure, C, someone protecting their patch? I reckon that one's going to get a lot of votes. Or D, just a habit. People just go straight into, oh shit, I've got to get busy. Clock's ticking. Clock is ticking, but we need to make sure we're doing the right thing in the right sequence at the right time to protect our flow. Right, that's it for today. Now we're going to head across to ORCA. Did we say what we're going to do? How the word priority quietly destroys delivery. We spoke to that. Why sequencing thinking stabilise execution. Taking all the noise out. Forget ASAP, forget priority, forget urgent. ASAS, as soon as sequenced. When was it sequenced? Or we could go WIIS. When's it sequenced? Because that's going to tell me the level of urgency or the time that I need to put into it. Guess what? If everyone's working to the work when it's sequenced to get done, guess what happens to all of this? Majority of it stops. Majority of that stops. We stop wasting people's time. A value-added activity goes up and a non-value-added activity goes down. We do enough of that, we drop that by 10%, all of a sudden we've doubled our throughput, doubled our EV. We get rid of this noise. Want signals. The signal is your tack chart. That's the signal. These are the things. That's your start time. That's your finish time. You need to be in that area. Start, finish. That's a signal. This shit up here, opinions, this is priority. That's an opinion. Opinions are just noise. Go back to the data. What's the data say? Data says we start then, we finish then. In that area. Then we hand off. Yes, tour a day. And ORCA. ORCA, obviously, is always a big part of this process. Now, yesterday, we tested a new GPT and we got a much better result because the day before wasn't great. So we run ORCA on ORCA. We stopped and we fixed it. That's the other thing you can do too, right? If you go, this is a priority and it's not matching up with this here and it has to be, there's something we've done wrong in the sequence or wrong in the flow, then we go stop and fix it. So we do an ORCA session. So what was the objective? Oh, piping wanted to get their pipe in. What were the results? Well, they couldn't because logistics didn't have it ready for them. What caused that? Well, we've got our sequence out. Piping were in the wrong spot. Piping actually needed to go straight in after civils because there is no structural mechanical for this one. So they should have actually been given that area first. What caused that? No one's reading the plan. No one's looking ahead. All right, so what are the actions out of it? All right, so the actions are we're going to do at a 5-minute session to the end of our morning brief. Or we're going to make sure that everyone is agreed when we walk out in the morning that the tack plan's right. And if it's not, we're going to start marking up. We're going to see how many times it's out of sequence. And we're going to start adjusting slowly and pulling it back into line. Done. Debriefed. Put something in place to fix it so it doesn't happen again. All right, so I wanted to upgrade the ORCA Wingman. What I did was it actually run through the process very, very well. But I wanted to get the actions up on the board and then upload a photo to it, and I want it to take and track the actions at the end of the session as well. So I've got my, what's it called? Wingman, who writes the prompts. Helps me create the other wingman to write a new prompt. We're going to go back and we're going to test this next one. ORCA Phase 2, we'll give it a new, and this one actually does an extra step for me as well that you don't need, is that it then does a summary at the end of my chat, at the end of my ORCA session. which then becomes, it feeds off to another bot, which writes the next post that goes behind this. So my posts are very structured, right? So I'll have my live that I'll post the day before. So today's live would have been posted yesterday. Because it's a Wednesday, there would have been an engage, so I would have dropped a poll into my feed on LinkedIn. Now, sometimes people don't have time to stop and watch the video, so I'll take the thumbnail and we'll write another post that will direct them back to what we spoke about here in the live. So it's just text and a post. The loop. It's a loop. It's a flywheel. Spins up. Each post is designed to push the one before or the one after. Very specifically designed that way. Okay. Let's try this new ORCA wingman out. See what he does. Run ORCA debrief. G'day. Run ORCA debrief. Run ORCA, ORCA debrief. An issue with this one straight up. Maybe. Okay. Let's go back and see if we can get into quickly fix it. Yeah, so that one that you just did, it's failed straight up, straight out of the gates. It's failed. When I say run ORCA debrief, it doesn't do anything. It just says run ORCA debrief back to me. Can you fix the logic, please? Or what's going on there? Why is it doing that? I just want I want to be able to copy the prompt separately from any other text that you give me too, like you do, please. Okay, he reckons he's fixed it. Still writing a post down here, is it? Won't copy it. Still writing. If this one doesn't work, I'll do some more work on it today. These can sometimes take a little bit to get right. Right, should be able to copy paste that across now. Alright, copied. Let's go back. ORCA phase 2. Run ORCA, ORCA debrief. Was the date, time, location, right or away? It is Wednesday the 25th of February 2026. The time is 10:16 a.m. and we are in Beanie's, B-E-A-N-I-E office. The objective of the mission was to do our Wednesday engage post to show people that ASAP, urgency, and priority are poisonous words that we need to stop using on the construction site. The objective of the mission was to publish the Wednesday gauge post demonstrating the words I'll make one correction. It's not gauge, it's engage. E-N-G-A-G-E. The rest of it's correct. Never just go, oh, we're too busy. We'll just play on. That's how we get more of this shit, or more of this priority, ASAP, urgent. Need to learn to stop. Toyota's production line has thousands of people on it. One person gets a problem, guess what happens? The whole line stops. They're the most productive factory anywhere in the world. And they stop, I forget what it is, there's a phenomenal amount of times per day. We have, and I was the worst one for this fascination with keeping everyone busy and moving, which creates this non-value added activity. We need to learn to stop. Don't just stop and do nothing. Stop and fix it. ORCA, ORCA. The objective of this mission, published the Wednesday, engage. Engage, like get engaged. ENGAGED. The objective of the mission was to publish the Wednesday engaged post, demonstrating the words ASAP, urgency and priority are harmful. Yes. When ASAP hits your radio, what's usually going on? A actual real constraint? Do you actually know what constraint is? I did a session on that a couple of sessions back. Sequencing failure, highly likely. Someone protecting their own patch, good chance. Just habit. Drop the ladder. Which one? Don't need to explain, just drop the ladder. What results did you get? Session is currently in progress. We have explained why priority, ASAP and urgency create kill logic, kill flow, and create the 90% or a big driver towards the 90% non-value added activity that we get on site. And it also drives the 8th waste, which is wasting our people's potential. Session is in progress. She explained that the words ASAP and urgency and priority create logic, kill, and disrupt flow on site. You linked their use to a major driver of the 9% non-value added activity on site. You connected this behaviour to the 8th waste of human. Yes. What caused those results? This is not something that I just speak to every now and again. This is something that I do repetitiously every single day. So I've got a very clear picture on how it all works because I've got a 6-picture framework drawn up on my whiteboard that explains it all. And I do a lot of prep work with my AI wingman to make sure that our messaging is on the mark. We also have a framework, Taki Moore's weekly content framework, so that we know that Wednesday what type of post and we need to do, and we also have an overall theme for the week, which we drop on a Monday when we first teach. You repeatedly teach this concept daily, create clarity and fluency in delivery. You use a 6-part pitch framework on your whiteboard to structure the explanation. You prepare messaging in advance with your AI wingman. You follow a defined weekly content structure, engaged on Wednesday with a clear weekly theme set on Monday. Is that correct? Yes. Part of this process too is that it's nameless and rankless. It's not nameless, blameless and rankless. So we're not going, you fucking said you're going to do that and you didn't. This is not, we do want conflict. We want conflict in a good way. As in logistics, when I speak at a person, I speak to logistics, didn't have the gear at that section for the civils to start. Where was the failure? This is not a name, blame and shame session. This is about removing the ego, finding out what our core problems, what's causing them, and removing them every single day. What are the actions? Actions for today are, first actions on you. You need to, well, you already got it. the action that you'll do at the end is you'll create a handover for me to give off to the mocks with a summary of this so he can create the next LinkedIn post. I then need to take that and run that through the Banger bot and post that to LinkedIn. Then I need to work with the Mox Wingman and the Banger bot to do our Thursday nurture post. Now he's going to ask me to write this on the whiteboard because he's going to want to know who does what when. So I'm going to have to, actually, we're going to go up on that whiteboard up there. Generate the Mox handover brief. Run the handover brief through BangerBot and publish a LinkedIn post. Work with Mox. Yes, that's correct. This is an interesting bit to see whether write these actions on your whiteboard, upload a photo of the whiteboard once complete. Okay, so here's another little improvement I'm going to do instead of having to who, what, when. So who is generate the Mox handover brief. This is this wingman. What handover brief? When's he going to do that? He needs to do that today. Number 2, this is number 1. So action 2 is what? It's the who is Beanie. Number 2, and that's today. Don't know how well he's going to do this. 3 is work with Mox is Beanie. That's action 3, and he needs to do that today. Because what I've asked him to do is take this now and summarise it so that this data sits within this GPT. And he will ask us tomorrow, before we start our next session, are those tasks complete? Have you done those? So we don't need to, we'd have them up on the whiteboard as well, but it'd just be a prompt. Remember what we're doing here, the reason why we're doing this is we're making it anti-fragile. So every mistake that we make improves it and anyone can run it. That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do here, cause effect. Okay, so this is the image. To simplify it a little bit, we had 3 actions, okay? So I've done who, does what, and when. Under the what, I've given it a number. So you've got number 1, 2, and 3, which you can reference back to your actions. That's just to make life easier for both of us. I don't need to stand here and write on all of that on the whiteboard. Only the text that's in red in that image is what we need. This is really powerful too, by the way. When you're in, I did this, first time I did this was 18 months or more ago. I was in the middle of a shut. Oh, I wasn't, I got dragged into a shut late. And the executive general manager had no clarity on what was going on, where actually no transparency on where things sit, what progress they were making, were they going better, were they going worse, what. We didn't have time to set dashboards up or spend a heap of time trying to sort this out at the time. It was in the, literally the shut was already running over time. So we had to start getting this stuff fast. What I did was run a whiteboard pretty much like this, exactly how I'm telling you now. I didn't run the ORCA process, but I run something called Scrum, which was very, very close to it. Okay, and then I used to take the photo of it at the end of the shift, send it to, I used to have to put another GPT inside. It was called, I forget what it was called now. It actually used to read the whiteboard because ChatGPT couldn't read the whiteboard back then. It can now. Does it perfectly like it has just then. Even my poor writing, like you can see there, it's still picked up and done that. I'd say write me an exec level summary. I trained it to write me exec level summary every day. Take a photo of that, exec level summary, bang, project director, bang, EGM. There you go. This is what we've done. This is where we got to. This is where we're going next. What did we do yesterday? What are we doing today? What's stopping us? What are the key things that we're tracking on the board? Keep it on the board. Instead of everyone running backwards and forwards, 100 emails, all the rest of it was one and done. I could do that in about 15 minutes. Whereas if you tried to do that by hand, the way that we used to do things, painful, take hours to try and do it. Extracted actions from the whiteboard, red text only, AI wingman, handover brief, yep, today, yep. Number 2, Beanie, action 2, yes, and he's got to do that today. And number 3, yep, is Beanie, action 3, yeah, and he's got to do that today. Action 1, who is responsible for this action? Action 1, put that down to me as well, down to Beanie. Actually, we need to fix that. Action 1 is your action which you will complete as part of this ORCA process. You've now been given an upgrade to complete that. Don't do it now, you do it as part of your process. Put ORCA Wingman Phase 2 down as the person who's going to do it, and it's done today. This is a bit where we see whether this thing's fragile or only fragile. When we start talking to it and giving it different instructions, we see how well it stays on date. Action 1, generate mocks handover brief. Owner ORCA debrief Wingman V2 today. Confirm due date time, specific time. That needs to be done by 10:40 a.m. Getting harsher. We've already done this. We've got who's doing what, when. So action 2 is Beanie, and he needs to get it done by close of business today. We need to tighten this section up. This is not quite working away. Certification required. Who is responsible? Action 2 is Beanie, B-E-A-N-I-E, and it needs to be completed by end of shift today. So this is not quite working the way that I want to, but we'll fix that. Action 3 is Beanie again, and end of shift today. All actions have been assigned, stored as open actions. ORCA debrief completed. Mox. So he's done his handover brief here, right? So he's done this for Mox. A little tighten up that I want to separate that as well. That's another little improvement that we can do there. When he does a handover brief, I want it separated, so I just copy paste it, throw it straight across. I will talk to the, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll tighten that up, make the improvements. So let's do an ORCA on it right now. So what went wrong was, the objective was for him to create actions from the uploaded photo. He did it twice. The result was he did it twice. What caused that was the prompt. Something in that prompt that needs fixing. Actions are for me to go back and redo that prompt. There's two fixes, and the other fix that I wanted was the separate the handover brief. Do you want me to show you how I do the handover brief? Give us a thumbs up if you do, otherwise I'll jump off and go and do that by myself. I use another wingman for doing that. All right. When ASAP hits your radio in the morning, is usually a real constraint. Sequencing failure, urgency, ASAP, some sort of poison from that. Someone protecting their patch, or just habit. Drop the letter. Don't need to put an explanation in it. Take it, use it. Made a great week. I'll speak again tomorrow. There's a term in Australia called take the piss, right? Which is making fun of someone doing something. That used to happen all the time with me. What's he walking around the paddock for? What's he looking for? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Because they don't understand flow.
And you were boots on the ground, and you're walking the field, and you're talking to the project delivery team. By the way, I've changed that for everything. I always say project delivery team now.
Yeah.
What is the first sign that the team's not ready to start and that this is heading in the wrong direction?
I'm always looking for flow. Now, these guys, back on this project, they used to think I was mad. I'd walk the paddock. I did this for months on end too, right? This is you got to keep repeating things, and you got to keep doing things until people internalize them and they accept them themselves. I used to walk the job 10 to a dozen times a day.
Okay.
The only thing I was looking for is where's it stopped? Where the crane's not moving, where's there groups of people stood up waiting for materials? Because when I knew where it was stopped, then I knew where the problems were. I could go and speak to them and say, hey guys, you don't go and accuse people, right? How's it going? What's happening? Go and talk to the people in the paddock doing the work. They'll tell you what the problem is. We all like to sit in the office and in meetings and stuff like that because it's air conditioned, or we're out of the elements. Get out there at the work front where they're actually doing the work and ask them what's going on. They'll tell you. They love to tell you what's not working. And